Well, we're back to the trying to save this 386, and so far it's working. Wayback Tech made a comment on here. Thank you, by the way. The CD-ROM drive might have been part of a package setup on it through MediaVision with the sound card and whatnot. It very well could be. I have not crossed over the numbers yet. The Sanyo CD-ROM drive, CDR H94A, which I could also compare the numbers, see if that matches the sound card on there. Manufactured in 94, that's about right with the sound card, so very good possibility. On further inspection, when I pulled the hard drive out, or the CD-ROM drive out, I discovered that the securement was missing on the original cables, so I just threw that cable out. I'm not going to chance that. So I've got another one here. This one will fit. It does have all the open pins, unlike the other ones where they got one blocked off for the newer stuff. They change everything. Gets a little annoying at times. So we're gonna reinstall the CD-ROM drive. This particular case, I hate it when these cases have this crap. You got the stupid rails here to where you have to have these in order to put the drives in. Yeah, it's a real pain in the rear. This one, unfortunately, there's supposed to be a screw in this part, so this screw needs to go over here, and this screw was a longer one that would actually allow you to secure it into the case back here. So I gotta fix that problem. Whoever did it used a bunch of oddball stuff. They didn't do it correctly. Kind of irritating. But that is probably the screw that I need to use inside this one from what I've seen earlier. So we'll see if the CD-ROM works. Hopefully it does. Probably a 4X or probably a 4X, 8X, something like that. I don't know. Well, probably bigger than that. Oh, hopefully it works. As you can see right here, I got an actual physical hard drive now. It's a Seagate, Crapgate, 20 gig. I decided to see what kind of hard drives I could play with on this thing. And the last one I had the SSD drive on there. It worked, don't get me wrong, it worked great, but the compact flash that I had in it was only 512 megabyte. And, you know what? It's modern days. We'll overkill the hard drive space on here. You could almost have every single DOS game that is compatible with 386 stored on this hard drive now. That's insane. Oh, so the IDE controller, great device. Definitely going to be picking up a few more of those. There's a couple issues there I had in the beginning to get it to boot to a hard drive. It's a little confusing at first, but once you figure it out, it's easy. The first issue you're going to have is a conflict between the BIOS on the motherboard and the BIOS on the IDE XT, or XT IDE, whatever you want to call that card. XT IDE, yeah. Anyway, you got an issue with conflict between the two BIOSes. So hopefully you will have the luck that I did on this one. I'm not sure if it's on there. It's obviously not going to be on every single one. What am I thinking? But I have the ability on this one to disable the IDE interface on the motherboard and allow the XT device to pick up. So that is what made this one functional for me. So you can go and disable it and you're fine. It'll go through its little memory check, whatnot, skip the seeking for the IDE devices and the floppy. No, it kept the floppy. And it'll start with its own little boot up from the XT device. From there, you're going to get a screen, and it's going to be very brief with this device, to where if you're running an empty hard drive, you're going to want to hurry up and push A to get it to boot from the floppy. Otherwise, if you don't, you're going to have to restart the machine and be quick at it. I wish there was a couple more seconds there extra, but you got to be right on top of it. Once you do that, then you can install DOS 622. There you go. That's how I got this to take all this junk. Oh, so with that note, well, with that being said, let's get everything back together, replace the CD-ROM, or install the CD-ROM, get that back to where it belongs inside that hole, go from there. Alright, so what I was talking about on the BIOS, what you have to disable will be down here. You disable the cache controller. And make sure you don't have any hard disks pre-set up on there, because obviously it's not going to read a 20 gigabyte hard drive. And that should be all you need to do. So escape to reboot. Yeah, skip that. I already know it's got 8 megabytes. And right up in here, you know, I zoomed out of it. So right up in here, you can see you make a quick selection of A to get it to read floppy drive, or vice versa. You can also go into your other stuff on here. As you can see, we got DOS loaded up. And of course, I installed the extended tools on it, so I got DOS shell. And I'm going to go ahead and set up the sound card on this. I'm not going to bother with Windows 3.1 on this system. I just think it's kind of cool I actually got the thing to work. So, I'll get to that part and come right back. Okay, well, I got the sound card driver that the one and only I could find that actually supports this. It is kind of a pain in the rear, because this is considered a MediaVision Pro, because it has the extra slots on there for the Sony, Panasonic, and Mitsumi drives. The CD-ROM drive is Sanyo, so it's a little sketchy there on getting that thing to work. I would prefer it if I had either one, the original Sony drive with the funky cable that thing takes, or my preferred option is putting a Mitsumi drive in there and hoping the driver would work. That's my only two options here. After I run through this, of course it's Joe the Jungle, I'm going to try something on here that I didn't even think about, even though it said it could support it on the XT IDE controller. We'll see what happens. So, that's my chair again. I just oiled the darn thing too, and now it's singing to me. Oh, moaning to me. I didn't think I was that fat. So anyway, I'll let you guys hear the sound card. It sounds nice. Mind you, this is a 386 system. It's only running like 20 megahertz. So it's got a little bit catching up to do on the sound. Yes, yes, and yes, VGA. So like I said, you can hear a little bit of stumbling in there. It's going to happen. I probably also got some decreased speeds from the XT card being transferred across and back and forth is limiting it a little bit. You gotta remember that XT IDE card is running at 8-bit versus the 16-bit. There's going to be some slowdown there. It's to be expected. But, did I save the 386? Yes, I did. So, that being said, I'm going to see if something will work. Just on this one. So, stay with me till the end. So, this was asked to me by a viewer, and that's a great idea. Let's see if it works. I think the guy's name was Larry. Thank you. So, will that XT IDE work with an SSD? Well, if we're going to do it, we're going to do it right. So, I got an 860 EVO, 500 gig. I happen to have the adapter laying around. So, let's see what happens here. Pretty simple. I'll do this right on the fly. Get that out of the way. Hey, nice close up with my arm there. There you go. And this particular adapter has no jumpers. Pretty basic. Not basic in price though, good grief. Luckily, it's one I happened to stumble across in an old system. Well, the only problem with this is making sure I don't lay that across anything and get a nice little puff of smoke. The old magic smoke ball here. So, simple enough setup there. Temporary, it works. This is an experiment. We don't care. We just want to find out if this thing will work. Yeah. Side note here. So I'm gonna have to go through and clean this Compuadd keyboard out. That enter button, you'll hear me just peck it a couple times and starting to argue with me a little bit more here and there. Well, let's see if it'll pick that card up. Thought I was going to run through another memory test. To answer your question, I think it'll pick up an SSD drive. Sure, let's see if Windows load, or not Windows, DOS loads. Happen to have my floppies laying around here. Don't go anywhere with that comment. Or do, I don't care. So this is the tricky part here. I don't want to go into the BIOS here, so I'm going to press F1 to retry. Okay, so like I said earlier, you got to be on top of that in order to tell it to do a drive. I mean, immediately after you see that pop up, hit the A. Well, it's interesting. Alright. Well, it will read it. The XT IDE will kind of work. If you like reading hieroglyphics. Interesting. So, to answer your question, will it read? Kinda. Will you get past the boot up? Not looking too promising there. So, yeah. Well, let me try a different compact flash. I'll go with something a little bit older here. Maybe not something so big. There's a 64 gig. I'm going with another name brand here, another Crucial instead of the Samsung. 64 gigabyte. So I'm going to power this off. What's nice about this is pretty quick, easy plug and play here. The whistling sound is coming from my mixer. As the only way I was able to run all these other audio cables through here and still be able to run my Roland sound canvas. Okay, it read the or picked up the SSD there. It is booting, so obviously, there you go. Now it shows up. So, we're doing alright so far. And again, you're going to have to be ready. As soon as this thing pops up, it's like I said, I was too slow. So, even whenever you're trying to install it, it tells you to restart the system. Be ready. So from the looks of it, running top of the line SSD is not going to be an option for you. At least not with this particular XT IDE card. So I'm not going to bore you with the formatting process. So, after all that install on there, it's not going to read it. You're probably going to have to either run a physical hard drive or a compact flash drive. Your best bet is just to run a physical hard drive with the XT IDE. Good grief, what a tongue twister. Especially as much as I said that. And it's pointing at me right in the face. Go figure. But yeah, this particular XT IDE will not read an SSD. It will find it, as you can see right here, but it will let you install, well, supposedly install, get onto it, but the adapter and whatnot will not work. So that wraps up this, and I'll get ready for the next video. Glad to see everybody's liking these older systems. It's a lot of fun working with these. A lot of frustrations come along with it, but still a lot of fun. Who cares? So, stay safe out there. Watch out for those stinking idiots out there, and we'll see you in the next episode.